There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time.
Hey guys, and welcome on into another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, and joined by NHL Daily Bets again. He came on the first show of the season, and now you're here on this Saturday show. How has the NHL season been treating you since the first day of the season?
It's been pretty good. The last week has been a little bit more down, the past few days and whatnot. But yeah, we're just, inches away from winning days and it turns into losing days, with shootouts. I think I'm like 1-6 in shootouts this year. So the one win being the Wild against the Rangers.
Yeah, I haven't really got too much burned by shootouts yet, but last year that's just no matter what, shootouts were just bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna start the show. I'm gonna quickly go through the polls here. I'm gonna take you out while I do that, and then we'll quickly
hmm
look. Actually, we'll look at tomorrow's. We'll look at yesterday's slate first. So I'll move you, and I'll bring you back here in a bit. Or actually, I can. No, actually, yeah. 1 second. Yeah, sorry, guys. Not used to having a second person on the show, but it's all good. Calgary Flames, Toronto Maple Leafs in yesterday's game. I did lean with Calgary, but I wanted Dustin Wolf in net. And Dustin Wolf was not in net. So I did say on yesterday's show that I was not taking Calgary. And Leafs got the win, 5-4 in overtime. Big win for the Leafs. Minnesota, Buffalo. In yesterday's show, I did say I leaned Buffalo. It was just a bad spot for Minnesota. The Wild outplayed Buffalo pretty much the entire game. But the Sabres won 3-2 in a lower scoring game. I know people like the over in that. Unfortunately, that didn't cash. The Sabres with a 3-2 win. Washington, New Jersey. Washington stays hot, and we'll be talking about them here in a bit. But the Capitals continue to win games and really confuse me on what kind of team they are. With the way they started and now the way they're playing, they're a team that confuses me, the Capitals. Hurricanes, Panthers. The question one of the polls yesterday was which dog is going to win? And the overwhelming favorite in the poll was Florida to win as a dog yesterday. 5-2 Panthers win. They continue their domination over the Hurricanes. That was a premium play win for me. Ducks money line plus 103. Unfortunately, the Ducks lose this game to the Flyers. And now I'm questioning if that was just a hot run they had or if they're actually an improved team. How can you lose? The Flyers have just been like really bad lately. The Flyers have just been losing games, and the Ducks have been so hot. And then this was a good spot for the Ducks, but they didn't win. So I'm questioning them right now. And then Sharks and Vegas Golden Knights. The only play I could find in this game, the only way I could bet this game was Pietrangelo to get a point. And of course, he scored a goal, and I believe he got an assist on the first goal. So that was a really easy cash in that game. And the poll did say Vegas minus 2.5, which was a winner. So the poll was right in that game as well. We are going to jump in today's polls before we get to today's slate. First one is not that one. The first one is will the Oilers make the playoffs this year? 35.6% say if they get a goaltender. 28.9% say no, they're just a bad team. 22.2% say yes, they have the McDavid, they're going to make the playoffs. And 13.3% say trade McDavid and Draisaitl. So people pretty much all over the place with the Oilers. I kind of agree with if they get a goalie. I think this team can rebound, but they're going to have to do something quickly and not just sit around. Second poll is which dog wins today. Obviously, we're going to be getting to these games shortly. Vancouver, the overwhelming favorite, 63.3%. Seattle, 14.3%. Arizona, 12.2%. And then Calgary, 10.2%. And the last poll, which is the best game to take over today? 68.3% say take the Canucks and Toronto over. 14.6% say Edmonton, Seattle. 12.2% say Buffalo and Pittsburgh. And 4.9% say Columbus, Detroit. Nobody really thinking too much about that Detroit game. But hey, it's okay. There's a lot of good games on today's slate. We will jump into the very first game. I'll break it down and I'll bring you back in NHL Daily Bets. Columbus Blue Jackets, Detroit Red Wings here in this one. Columbus plus 135 to plus 141. Detroit minus 155 to minus 160. 6.5s in this one. Columbus 1-4-3 in their last 8. Detroit 2-4-2. Neither of these teams really playing all that well lately. Both teams have gone over in 3 of their last 5. Detroit has the edge in previous meetings, 4-2-1. 4 of the last 6 meetings have gone over 6.5. And this game was very easy for me. I'm passing. I am passing. No matter what I do, I always lose the brunch game on Saturdays. No matter what the matchup is, no matter what I pick, if I go over or sides, I always lose the 1 p.m. brunch game on Saturdays. So that's a reason why I try to pass. And then even looking at this game, there's just nothing that stands out for me. So this was a nice and easy pass to start the day. What do you think here, Blue Jackets and Detroit?
I was looking at Columbus pretty hard here. Mårten has been hot. Very surprised by that, but I think when you have a goalie riding the hot hand is a big key here, and I know he's getting the start. I couldn't pull the trigger on Columbus, not with how they're playing lately. Laine's back, that's great. Plus 140 is tempting, but like you said, brunch games, there's so much variance because guys just aren't in their ritual. They have the routine where, they can get breakfast, go to the morning skate, have their pregame meal. They don't have that here. So a lot of guys can get out of whack. So yeah, I tend to pass on a lot of brunch games as well. Leaning Columbus, but staying away from it.
All right. The chat is chatting about things. Richie says Columbus. Isaac says Columbus. Tim says pass. Richie says Laine's back. Yes, Laine is making his return to this game, so that will be a boost for Columbus. Have a Melissa Terry that will help you for bunch. No, nothing helps brunch games for me. Huso will win. Yeah, Detroit, obviously they should win this game. They're favorites here, but just a little bit too big of favorites for me to back them, even against Columbus.
They're coming back to life. They started off really hot this season, and they were really overperforming their metrics, and it's coming back to haunt them. They're coming back to even, and that's kind of where I expected them. But last game they looked bad.
DeBrincat not getting anything lately with Larkin. DeBrincat and Larkin are no-shows right now.
Yeah.
Like obviously they started so well, but they've been no-shows. And I can't back the Detroit Red Wings unless those two guys are going. Those two guys are going, then I can look at Detroit. But without those two guys, I can't back this Detroit team. That's just my thoughts. But we'll move on to the second game here, which is between the Dallas Stars and the Winnipeg Jets. In this one, Dallas minus 115 to minus 120. Winnipeg minus 105 to plus 100. 6s and 5.5s available in this game. Dallas 4-2 in their last 6 games, playing pretty good hockey. 4 of their last 6 have gone over 6.5. So Dallas has been playing higher scoring games. Winnipeg 3-1-2 in their last 6. They're also heating up lately. And 5 of their last 6 games have gone over 6.5. So both of these teams are going over 6.5 right now. And we're seeing 5.5s as the total. It's catching my eye, I got to admit. Looking at past history between these teams, Dallas 4-1-1 in the last 6 meetings. However, Winnipeg 10-1-1 in the last 12 at home against Dallas. So Winnipeg has had a lot of success here against Dallas in the past. This Winnipeg team is playing pretty well right now. I don't want to take Winnipeg. I do lean with the Stars, but I can't get there with the Stars in this game. I do think they win, but I think this game goes to overtime. 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone to overtime. That is insane. 6 of the last 8. So for some reason, these two teams go to overtime plus 340. I have to. And then I lean Stars in this one. What do you think here? And then when it comes to player props, no single plays. If you're looking for a parlay piece, Pavelski right now. 4 of his last 5 games, he has a point. 8 of the 11 games this season. And then with Winnipeg, Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele are both playing well right now. What do you think here in this matchup, Dallas-Winnipeg?
I have 2 bets on this one, actually. I really do like Dallas. Winnipeg has been good. I'm just not a big believer in Winnipeg, to be honest, as a whole. They have been good lately. I'm not buying into Hellebuck. I don't think he's good at all, at all this year. I think he has been terrible. And I know he has that name value. He just signed the contract over the summer. And sometimes when guys get paid, their foot comes off the gas a little bit. And you're seeing that this year. You're seeing that with Hellebuck. Anyone who follows me on Twitter has seen me kind of dishing out on Hellebuck. So I'm fading him here. I like the over 2. But I do understand the total being at 5.5. With these name value goalies, Ottinger and Hellebuck, a lot of people think these are 2 Vezina type of guys. But yeah, I like that over 5.5. I think we see 6 here. I think 4-2 game is very likely. Could be 3-3. I think it does stay pretty tight. But yeah, I like Dallas. I like the over.
Awesome. The chat agrees with you. Clear Niam likes the over. Robert likes the Stars. Richie likes his Stars, but he likes it a higher scoring game, but he likes the Stars to win. So that's why he's telling me win by double digits or by 2 or more. That's why he's telling me don't do it, Terry, with the draw. It's only a half unit play, but I have to with the history between those two. I just have to. It's just
Well,
it's
Stars, was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember. They went to OT like the most of anyone in the league. They went to OT like 20 times. I mean, it was a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, I think that was last year. I think.
Yeah.
And then Robert says Robertson goal. Robert's been watch out for him because he's been naming guys to get goals and he's been doing pretty well. I've been noticing he's been calling goal scorers, so keep an eye on that. Robertson tonight. Richie says Pavs. And then Richie says Wedgwood will be amazing tomorrow against the Minnesota Wild. Obviously, the Stars are going to Minnesota tomorrow. We'll see about that, Richie. We'll see about that. Stars and over 5.5 says Super Corey. Let me look at starting goaltenders because, of course, I always forget. Spencer Martin, Ville Husso in the first game, both confirmed. In this one, nobody's been confirmed yet. But Ottinger and Hellebuck are both.
Hellebuck will go for sure because
Yeah.
he didn't play last game. So you got to assume he's going here at least.
Yeah, for sure. We'll jump into the next game, which is between the Montreal Canadiens and the Dallas Stars here in this one, or the Dallas Stars and the Montreal Canadiens. Boston minus 180 to minus 218. Montreal plus 170 to plus 180. Sixes right across the board here in this one. What can be said about Boston? I was completely wrong thinking they would take a step back without Bergeron and Krejci. 11-1-1 on the season for the Bruins. They just continue to. They look just as good as last year so far this year. They've gone under 6.5 in 4 of their last 6 games. Montreal 3-3-1 in their last 7. They've gone under 5.5 in 3 of their last 5. So both these teams trending towards the under right now. Boston 10-0-0 in the last 10 meetings. They have continuously beat Montreal whenever they face them. 3-1-3 to a total of 6. So 3 over, 1 under, 3 pushes. We have seen some games end in 6 between these two teams in the past. And for me, you guys know, if you've been watching the show lately, Monahan continuously has been making me money. 7 straight games, he has a point. 9 of his last 10 games. He has a point. Minus 115 the last few games, minus 110 here. Yes, it's the Bruins. Yes, the Bruins goaltending is elite, but I can't not bet Monahan with how he has continuously won for me over and over again. So I cannot not stay off him in this one. Looking at Suzuki and Caulfield have both been great as well recently. And then for Boston, Marchand a point in 5 of his last 6. Obviously, you'd have to go a parlay piece for that one. And Charlie McAvoy making his return to the lineup for this one. He had a point in 4 of his last 5 before his suspension. So that's where I look here. What do you think here in this matchup, Boston and Montreal?
I'm looking a little bit at the under. With McAvoy coming back, that helps, the Boston's decor. And Swayman has been unreal this year. I was huge on Allmark, and Swayman's kind of taken over as starter right now, in my opinion, which very surprising to me. Didn't expect that. He's probably been the best goalie in the league, if not top 3 so far, and pretty sure he's undefeated. I don't think he's lost yet. So it's hard to fade Boston with him in net with how he's playing, especially when you're that hot. You just don't want to fade those types of goalies. So yeah, probably just passing on this one, kind of looking at that under, but uh, yeah, 6 is kind of hard to get behind on this matchup. Montreal finds a way to score. They really do. Even when their expected goals is low, they find the back of the net. And they have those high end goal scorers who can just, they get one chance and they put it home. So, yeah, tough spot here. Probably just passing.
Yeah, you were right. You are right. Jeremy Swayman, 6-0-0 on the year, 1.48 goals against average, 952 save percentage. Um, and he that's what's both goalies have been just absolutely amazing for the Bruins so far this year. Hellebuck will get traded. No, not after signing that long deal. I don't. Not this year, at least. I think maybe in a year or so if things go really bad. But happy Saturday, Terry. Let's win to you as well, Kev. Bruins money line. Price, you'd have to do a parlay piece. Bruins win 5-2, says Robert. Marchand might score. Yeah, he's been hot lately. IceX says, I'm back. And how ironic. IceX is on Montreal, which doesn't shock me because he likes to fade the. I don't want to say fade the public, but he likes to go with the big underdogs. So it doesn't surprise me there. Going to our next, or yeah, and then a goaltenders, it'll be Samuel Montembeault for Montreal in this game. Going on to the next one here, which is between the Calgary Flames and the Ottawa Senators in this one. Calgary plus 115 to plus 125. Ottawa minus 134 to minus 145. 6.5s right across the board in this game. And it's happening. Dustin Wolf is making his first career start for the Calgary Flames in this game. If you are not familiar with Dustin Wolf, he has been lights out in the AHL for quite a few years. The Calgary Wranglers have been one of the best teams in the AHL for the last couple of years. He's their starting goaltender, and now he'll be joining the Flames starting in this game. Jonas Corposalo for Ottawa is likely 3-4 in the year, 3.38 goals against average, 901 save percentage. And this game here is really tough for me. It's really tough. Both teams have been trending to the over heavily. Calgary, 4 of their last 5, over 6.5, and that doesn't include last night or in May. I'm not sure. Ottawa, 10 of their 12 games this year have gone over 6.5. But with Wolf starting, I could see Calgary playing defensive hockey for Wolf, and I could see Wolf standing on his head in his first game, and I could see him just stealing away the over. So despite both teams really trending to the over right now, I can't go there because I know how good Wolf is because I've been obviously paying attention. I've been winning with him in the AHL last year, and I've been keeping my eye on him. Drafted him in some fantasy leagues before, so he is a top prize prospect, and this game's a pass for me. What do you think here, Flames Senators?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you broke it down really well. I was looking at Calgary. I was on them yesterday, and I thought Wolf is starting. I thought, you put them in game one against Toronto, and it was a very winnable game. You don't put them in on a back to back, and that's what they're doing. They're putting them in a tough spot. And on paper, it's kind of showing Ottawa it's a tough schedule for Calgary on a back to back after an OT game yesterday. They came back. It's just a tough spot for Calgary. So it's hard to back Calgary in this spot. But I'm also not going to back Ottawa at whatever it is now. It's like minus 130, minus 140. I think this is a pick 'em game. It just like I don't want to back Calgary at plus money after a deep game yesterday, and I just think they messed up the goaltending. I think they should have started Wolf yesterday and then Vladar today. They didn't, so it's a pretty easy pass for me. I agree with you with the total. Kind of leaned over, and then Wolf's going. You think they're going to probably play more defense, be more reserved, and that's kind of what I'm expecting here. But Ottawa's a big over team. I really like the Sens for overs, so I can't get behind the under here with Ottawa playing. So yeah, pretty easy pass for me.
Yeah, this game is just so tough to just do. I can't. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't
Yeah,
find anything. Players that are playing well though, Kadri has a point in 5 straight games. If you were looking at parlay pieces, Kadri, and then Giroux and Stutzel have both been really hot until their last game. They both had been on 5 game point streaks until their last game. So Kev does think this will go over because both teams played last night, and that's very possible. And that's why I can't get to anything in this game. It's going to be an easy pass for me.
did Ottawa
But
play last night?
um,
I don't
actually, that's a
remember them
good
playing.
no. I think they played the night before. Actually,
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
think
I
they
think
played
they
yesterday.
yeah. So this Calgary played yesterday, so it
Yeah,
actually is rest advantage for Ottawa here. I'm definitely not passing in this next game here, which is between the Vancouver Canucks and the Toronto Maple Leafs here. And this one, of course, both polls said take Vancouver, take the over. Vancouver was plus 115 last night, now minus 105 to plus 106. Toronto minus 115 to minus 120. Total 6.5, minus 130, minus 135, or you can take the 7 plus 115 to plus 121 in this game. And I know what people are thinking. Vancouver 8-0-1 in their last 9 games. Toronto 2-3-2 in their last 7. Toronto is playing. Vancouver is playing so much better than Toronto. Why are we getting this price? And people might be thinking this could possibly be a trap. You have to look at the last few games for Vancouver. They weren't priced correctly against Ottawa. They weren't priced correctly against Edmonton. Bookmakers, in my opinion, are looking at Vancouver from last year's stats, are looking at Vancouver from their preseason projections, and they're not looking at Vancouver what they actually are this year. And that's why I've continued to back this team and I've continued to make money. Vancouver Canucks money line, which I don't have the odds there, but right now plus 105, plus 106. The over 6.5 was minus 120. Of course, that's moved. I'm on both of those plays. And then player props, you guys know what's coming here. Philip Hronik. He has a point now in 8 straight games, and he is plus money again to get a point. I bookmakers are paying attention to college football, NFL, whatever. They're not paying attention to NHL player props. Why Hronik is plus money game after game after game, I don't know, but bookmakers can keep it up because I've loved backing him like 5-6 games in a row. JT Miller, his anytime goal is plus 210. He has a goal in 4 of his last 5 games. He has a goal in 6 of his last 7 games. JT Miller, there's no way in a game that has a 7 as a total that we should be getting this plus price for these props. So I love both of these props. Canucks, Maple Leafs. A lot of people on the Canucks. Are you one of them?
I'm not. I'm leaning the other way. I don't know if I can bet it right now. Demko has burned me. I mean, I understand the pricing. I'm not one of these guys that are saying Vancouver's a top team. You look at their expected metrics, and they're like bottom five in everything, honestly. So they're playing well beyond their expected metrics. And Demko was talking about Swayman being a hot goalie. Demko is the hottest goalie. I think Demko is number one in the league right now. I think he's um, probably leading the race for Vezina right now. I think in expected goals, he is number one in the league. So it's hard to fade Demko right now. Samsonov has been terrible. It's Toronto on a back-to-back. A lot of it does point to Vancouver, but I just look at the expected goals and everything points Toronto. It's one of those games where I don't want to back Toronto, and then Vancouver has 2 expected goals and they put up 6 again. That's just what they've been doing this year. So they've been scoring at a high clip. Their offense is humming, and they're sniping goalies. They just are. They get a chance and they're putting it in the back of the net. That's what's happening right now. My model also has the under here. I mean, it's projected closer to 6, and I can't get beyond that. I just can't with Samsonov. He's been terrible. So, I wanted to take the under maybe with the Demko, and then I look at Samsonov's stats, and I just can't get behind that. So it's a pretty easy pass. I wouldn't be surprised to see Toronto win a 4-2 game, and a lot of people are mad with the Canucks, but I just think Canucks are playing well over their heads right now. So I'm kind of leaning the other way.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Like Canucks, like the Wild the other night against Rangers had like 2 shots in the first period and just looked absolutely awful. And there I go and look, and the Canucks are up 2-0 against Ottawa, and I'm thinking, oh wow, they must be playing really well. And then
3
I see that,
shots.
yeah, they have 3 shots. So
Yeah.
but I don't this spot, just Toronto on the back to back after the overtime win, and just how Vancouver's been playing.
Yeah.
I can't stay off them
Yeah.
right now. Canucks zip the puck around on the power play, so nice. Isaacs's model. Where's the model? iFace. He doesn't mean that kind of model. He means an NHL model. But you're funny, Isaacs. Power play league now. Yes, the power play definitely matters a lot in this one. Pedersen is a point in 11 of his last 13. Hughes 7 of his last 9. I've already talked about Miller and Roenick. For Toronto, if you're looking for a person to get a point, and if you can find it, Nylander has a point in all 14 games this year. He has an assist in 12 of the 14 games, and I saw plus 100 for Nylander assist. So he's done that in 6 straight games, 12 of the 14 games this year. And then when it comes to goalies, it is Demko, 1.6 goals against average, 948 save percentage against Samsonov, 4.11 goals against average, 855 save percentage. So huge goaltending edge to Vancouver again.
That's the main thing keeping me away. I mean, it's the main thing. Demko is by far the best goalie in my opinion right now. And you don't want to fade a goalie that's that hot right now. So I'll wait for him to cool
Maybe
down.
once they eventually do lose, they go on a losing streak.
Yeah.
When it eventually does happen. But
Yeah.
we'll jump
Wait
into
for him to
the
cool
next.
down.
Yeah. We'll jump into the next game here, which is between the Carolina Hurricanes, Tampa Bay Lightning. Carolina minus 115 to minus 125. Tampa Bay plus 102 to plus 105, 6.5s right across the board. Carolina 5-2 in their last 7 games. 6 of their last 8 have gone under 5.5. Canes are playing more Cane hockey. Tampa Bay 4-2 in their last 8. They've gone over 6.5 in 5 of their last 6. Tampa Bay 5-2 in the last 9 meetings. 6 of the last 8 meetings have gone under 6.5. So we have seen lower scoring games when these two teams face. And when Carolina was like minus 105 last night, I was kind of interested in them. But now that they're at this price, I'm not. Kochetkov is unconfirmed for Carolina. He's had a rough go in the start that in the game that he did play in. I believe he played this year. His stats aren't on here, but Jonas Johansson, 5-2-4 in the year, 3.36 goals against average, 901 save percentage in this one. For me, Mr. Kucherov, anytime goal plus 150. He has got a goal in 4 straight games. Cashed on him last game at plus 100. I think he's a good person to find the back of the net here in this one. But side or total, this game is a pass for me. What do you think here, Hurricanes and Lightning?
I kind of have the same thought as you. You know, last night the Canes was tempting. Like we were talking about earlier, the books don't release lines until the games are over, and Carolina was playing last night, so I had to wait on my book until Carolina was done with their game, and then by that time it was minus 115. Just don't really love that line. I came on here day one with you, and I talked about Jonas Johansson and how he is terrible. Um, I swear he probably has the best over rate of any goalie who's ever played in the NHL, a minimum of 5 games. I mean, you can fact check that. He's probably at like close to 90%. And that's not even an exaggeration. This guy just gives up goals. And I know his advanced metrics are pretty good this year. He's actually not looking terrible, but I'm always looking for an over with Johansson. So that's kind of how I'm leaning. Like you said, Kochetkov hasn't been good. I think he only played 1 game this year, but just Canes on the road has been more of an over team. Even yesterday, you know, they hit the over versus Florida on the road. Um, at home is a little bit of a different story, and they're just a different team on the road. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to play right now, but those are my leans. It's Carolina and over right now.
Awesome. We'll jump into the next game here, which is between the Buffalo Sabres and Pittsburgh Penguins. Buffalo plus 155 to plus 163. Big road dogs against Pittsburgh minus 175 to minus 192. Sevens, there is a 6.5 available in this game as well. I don't believe. Oh, yeah, Tristan Jarry is officially confirmed now, making his return after a few games off from injury. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is unconfirmed for Buffalo. And I've said it, even when Pittsburgh faced San Jose, I cannot back the Penguins at this price right now. Minus 190, minus 175. I can't justify. I would obviously have to go within regulation if I was looking at taking the Penguins. And you might think, oh, Buffalo played last night. This is a great spot for the Penguins. It isn't really. They just came back from the California trip. This is their first game home. The Penguins do have a lot of older players that have families, and this is the pass for me. But I lean Buffalo even on the second night of a back-to-back. This just isn't a good spot for Buffalo, or isn't a good spot for Pittsburgh. It's not really the best spot for Buffalo either. So this game was just an easy pass for me. What do you think here, Buffalo and Pittsburgh?
Yeah, you broke it down pretty well again, actually. I agree with you. It's not a good spot for Penguins, even though on paper it looks like it's kind of the spot with Buffalo on a back to back. A lot of people just look at that, they don't look at the road trips. And yeah, I think it's a tough spot for Pittsburgh. And I'm not a Jari believer, to be honest. Even coming back after, I believe it was a little injury or whatever it was, first game back. And I don't expect him to be bringing his A game. So I like Buffalo here. I like the over. One of these, I mean, I can't get a 6.5 anymore, so that's tough. I'm looking for a live over. I normally don't track those because it's so hard for people to actually tail those. You know, one minute happens and the line changes a lot. You never know when the goals are going to come. So I'm looking for a live over there. And yeah, I like Buffalo. And UPL has actually been really good. I've been impressed with him. Last year he kind of sucked, but he's turned it around. He's pretty hot right now. I think you ride the hot hand. I like the price tag on Buffalo. I think this could be close to a pick 'em. I think too much is changing just because Buffalo is on a back-to-back, and they didn't look great last night. But I don't believe in this Pittsburgh team. They're old, they're slow, and I know their advanced metrics are pretty good, but I don't think they're that good. I really don't.
Yeah, I agree. Dr. Flush said earlier, how about round robin, the odd with all games? And then IceX was kind of confused. And I think what he means is odd final score all games. So that's parlaying the final scores of each game to be an odd number. So like 4-3 or 3-1 or 3-0 or something like that. That's something interesting. I haven't really thought of, but that's something interesting. Best of luck there. The Pens own the Sabres 5-2-1 in the last 8 meetings. Is Pittsburgh, so 5 wins, 3 losses. I don't know if that's really own. Sabres are big road dog, are undefeated on the +1.5 puck line, and Sabres are 2-0 on the second night of back-to-back so far. So back-to-backs have not really hurt them. The Isles were the other team to go on a tiny downfall. Yeah, they are. We'll get to them really shortly here. Going fishing in the dark tonight. Tage Thompson goal song. There you go. There you go. Moving on along to our next game here, which is between the Washington Capitals and the New York Islanders. Washington +145 to +150. Islanders -160 to -175. Sixes across the board. We have a hot team in the Capitals, 5-1-1 in their last 7. As +145, +150 road dogs here. They did play last night. Islanders 1-2-2 in their last 5. They've won 1 of their last 5 games. Islanders trending towards the over 6, 3-1-1. Washington 4-1-1 to the under 6. In past history, Islanders 4-2-1 in the last 7 meetings. 2-2-2 to a total of 6. So really no edge in the total anywhere in past history. For me, this game's a pass. Really shouldn't be too surprising. I'm going to be passing on a few of these next 2 games. Washington's a hot team. I would only be able to look at them at this price. But I just don't really feel too good about it, so I'm going to pass. But I'm definitely not stepping in front of the Capitals right now in this one. What do you think here, Caps and Islanders?
I'm looking the other way. I like the Islanders a lot, and this is coming from a big Islander hater. I hate the Islanders. I don't think they're a great team. I think they're overpriced in a lot of the markets, but I like the Islanders a lot. I think this is a great spot for them. I do like the puck line, like you mentioned, regulation, whatever your thing is, but we don't even know who the Capitals are playing in net. I know Islanders are going with Varlamov, which I don't like as much as Sorokin, but Varlamov is very good, and I think he tends to get undervalued in the market just because of how good Sorokin is. So you see some line movement against the Islanders because Varlamov is confirmed. It's just a better price for you to get in at. So I like that, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Shepherd in goal for the Capitals today, because Kemper is dealing with some injuries. He didn't start yesterday, which is kind of weird for him on a back-to-back. Why is he not starting against the Devils? So he's probably not starting today, if I had to guess. You're not playing Lindgren on a back-to-back, so you're probably getting the Capitals' third-string goalie. I think Capitals are playing above their expected value right now. They're going way above their metrics. So I like the Islanders in this spot. I like them quite a bit, and you're not going to hear me say that too much this year. So
Yeah, I'm the same way. Capitals are an old team, and I just don't really want to back an old team on a back-to-back as well. I do believe, though, that the Capitals did pretty well in the back-to-back last year, but I don't have the exact numbers here. One thing I will be looking at in this game, let's see, Isaac says, are you sure? Blink twice if you're being held against your will. I'm joking, lol. Oh, that's funny. One thing I will be looking at in this game, though, the Islanders lately, in the third period, have been blowing leads. The Islanders have been leading going into the third period. And I may kind of look at the Capitals live if the Islanders are ahead in the third period, but because they're on the back-to-back, I might not. What I might do is next goal. in the third period, or maybe Washington third period, puck line or something. I do kind of want to fade the Islanders in the third if they are leading after two, because they have been blowing leads lately. Passing this play, but I would be leaning a draw, and I could see that. I could see this being a low scoring game that ends in a draw. We'll take a look here at the next game, which is between the Arizona Coyotes and Nashville Predators. Arizona plus 120 to plus 132. Nashville minus 145 to minus 155. Sixes right across the board. Arizona 3-2-1 in their last six. They really burned me in their last game against the Blues. Nashville 1-4 in their last five. Arizona's gone over 6.5 in 6 of their last 8 games. Nashville 3-0-2, so 3 over, 0 under, 2 pushes to a total of 6 in their last 5. So both teams trending over. Arizona 3-1-1 in the last 5 meetings, 3-1-2 to a total of 6. So I do lean with the over here in this game. In net for this one is Connor Ingram for Arizona. UC Saros is likely for Nashville. But Ingram has been good, 4-1 with a 2.47 goals against average. Saros 4-7, 2.96 goals against average. Ultimately, this game's a pass, but I do kind of lean with the over. I do lean with goals, especially with Arizona being not scoring in their last game. I could really see the offense going, but I'm pumping the brakes after making a mistake going too heavy on different stuff with the Yotes last game. I'm going to pass this one. What do you think here, Yotes and Preds?
Yeah, you're right. Ingram has been very good this year. He's been the better goalie of the two, which I didn't expect coming into the year. I knew he was a good goalie, but I just didn't expect him to outplay Bojmelka. I like the Preds here, though. And if we're getting Saros, I like him more. Lankinen actually is better than a lot of people think, but I just think it's a big difference. You know, you always want Saros to go. At home on a Saturday, I expect Saros. I like the Preds here. I think the total's kind of a coin flip. Kind of lean to the under a little bit, just because these
It
teams
probably
really don't.
pushes.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
bet you it pushes.
yeah, it probably does. So yeah, um, pass from the total. Like the Preds, like them even more with Saros.
Awesome. We'll move on along. We have 3 more games left. I'll move on to the next one here, which is between the St. Louis Blues and the Colorado Avalanche. St. Louis plus 185 to plus 210. Colorado minus 225 to minus 250. Sixes right across the board here. This one, St. Louis 3-1-0 in their last 4, starting to win some games. 5 of their last 7 have gone under 5.5. They've been a lower scoring team. Colorado 2-4 in their last 6, not really playing the best right now. 5 of their last 8 have gone over 6.5. And I've noticed that the Avalanche have been getting shut out in losses lately. So just not really playing the best right now. Previous history, Colorado 7-1-1 in the last 9 meetings. They have taken care of business against the Blues. The last 6 meetings have all gone under 6.5. 5 of the last 6 meetings have gone under 5.5. So we've seen lower scoring games between these two teams. This game is another pass for me. I know I just passed in 4 games in a row, but I do have plays in both late games. But these middle games here, I can't back the Blues. I don't like this Blues team whatsoever. But I can't back the Avalanche on the puck line with how they've been playing, with how they've been getting shut out in losses. I can't get involved in this game. What do you think here, Blues and Avalanche?
Yeah, I don't think you need to force anything. I think a lot of passing on today's slate is probably the smarter thing. But I like the under here. Bennington has been really good. Colorado's offense has been slacking. I like Colorado. I don't see it going 3-3. I don't see it getting over that 6 mark. I like that under 6. You can find it at plus money. I think that's a solid play. I'm expecting Georgiev and Bennington. And Bennington has been really good against Colorado, so I expect that to continue. Um, yeah, that's the way I'm looking from a money line perspective. Can't really play Colorado at this price, especially with how their offense has been looking. And I've honestly been really surprised this year with how overrated the Blues have been. I've been fading them quite a bit and making some pretty good money against them. I almost bet them against the Coyotes, but yeah, just couldn't get there. But yeah, I've been fading this team quite a bit. This market seems to think they're like a pretty good team, but I have them like a bottom 5, 7 team. Like they're a bottom tier team. So yeah, I'm not sure what they're seeing. This price is probably pretty accurate. Colorado being a pretty big favorite here.
Awesome. 2 games left, and I really like that Vancouver game, but this is my second favorite game of the night in our next game here, which is between the Edmonton Oilers and the Seattle Kraken. Edmonton -120 to -130, Seattle +105 to +115, 6.5s right across the board here in this game. Edmonton 2-9-1 on the season, continuing to just be a shit show. I don't know what else to say. 4 of their last 5 games have gone over 6.5, which doesn't really surprise anybody with their absolute awful goaltending. Seattle 3-1-1 in their last 5 games, so they're starting to play better and look more like the team I thought they were heading into the season. 4 of their last 5 games have gone over 6.5. So the Kraken have been scoring and allowing goals as well in recent games. Looking at the past history between these two teams, they faced each other 7 times since Seattle joined the league. Edmonton is 5-2, so Edmonton has had the success getting the wins. All 7 have gone over 6.5. These two teams have never faced each other, and we've never had an under when these two teams have faced each other. And with how both teams are playing right now, that's exactly where I'm going. Give me the over 6.5. Give me Jaden Schwartz to get a point, -125. He has a point in 8 straight games for the Seattle Kraken. He has been their best offensive forward, I think you could say, on the year. And he didn't cash in his first game. I think +750. I'm going back to him here. Another half unit play on Shane Wright, anytime goal, +550. And the reason being he's facing an Edmonton Oilers goaltender. And you can't go wrong taking a player prop against Edmonton's goaltenders right now. So Shane Wright, +550. James Schwartz point over 6.5. I do lean with Seattle, but I'm just going to stick with the over and just give me goals in this one. What do you think here in this game? Edmonton, do you think they should be a favorite with how they played this year?
So this one's a tough one to call because I was talking to you before the show a little bit. I was very surprised to see Edmonton number 1 in expected goals for percentage at 5-on-5, and that blew me away. I could not believe that. I know they've been generating a lot of chances. I know they've been winning a lot of these games on money puck and the expected goals. But yeah, that surprised me. I guess I'm leaning Edmonton, but how do you back this team right now? I just can't get behind it. I can't. Those expected goals just aren't translating to actual goals. So, it's so hard to get behind that. And at the same time, my model leans under here, which is just insane, which kind of makes sense on the pricing because like it seems like a little bit trappy on the over. So in terms of expected goals, I am expecting it to go under that 6.5. But how do you do that with this Edmonton goaltending? I just can't get behind that either. I'm expecting Pickard to get a net. And who knows what he's going to bring. He hasn't been in the NHL in years. I know he's been playing pretty well in the AHL. Who knows? Maybe they'll throw Skinner back in. I don't even know what they're doing. It's tough to bet these Edmonton games right now. So for me right now, it seems like an easy pass. How am I going to play an under for Edmonton right now? I just can't. It's ugly. I can't get behind that. So I know I came on your show first day and I pretty much told you Grubauer was not it last year. Decord might take over, and he got those 4 straight starts. He's looking good, and then the Arizona game, he kind of laid an egg. I just think they dominated that game, and he gave up 2 goals that shouldn't have happened on the power play. It looked like he was a fish out of water, honestly. He was moving slow. He was way behind. He was 1 pass behind. I mean, they're getting one-timers where he's still on the other side of the crease. It wasn't a good look. It looked like he was still AHL level speed there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to Grubauer. But yeah, I think I got to pass here. I can't get behind Edmonton or Andre in this spot.
All right. Richie says if only Detroit and Columbus can get 4 more goals before first period ends. So I'm guessing that means it's a 1-1 score, or there's 2 goals. No, Columbus is losing. So yeah, we have a live game that is going on. Columbus is losing currently. We will jump into the final game of the night here, which is between the Philadelphia Flyers and the LA Kings here in this one. And I lost backing the Anaheim Ducks yesterday. Flyers on a back-to-back, of course. Anaheim, LA, not too far away from each other. The Flyers plus 195 to plus 207 underdogs. LA minus 235 to minus 250 home favorites. 6.5s right across the board in this one. And LA is playing really well right now. 6-0-2 in their last 8. Flyers 2-5 in their last 7. 4 of the last 5 games for LA have gone under 6.5. So LA is starting to play lower scoring hockey because they've been getting great goaltending from Cam Talbot. Back to the last game, it is looking like Skinner and Grubauer, but both are unconfirmed. And then Philadelphia, LA, Carter Hart and Talbot, but both are unconfirmed. So don't really know what's going on with goaltenders in this game officially. For me in this one, Adrian Kempe, anytime goal, plus 140. He has a goal in 4 of his last 5 games. He has a point in 8 straight games. If you want a same game parlay, Kempe to get a point and Kopitar to get a point, that's a great look as well. You'll get nice plus money for that. That's where I would go. Kempe anytime goal and Kempe point and Kopitar point parlay together. Final game of the night, Flyers and Kings. What do you think on this one?
This is one of those ones where you kind of have to wait for starting goalies, in my opinion. Talbot has been way better than Copley. Copley has been atrocious this year. And Hart has been by far the best goalie on the Flyers roster. I think a lot of people aren't giving the Flyers the love they deserve. And me especially going into the year, I thought they were a bottom 5 team. And they're looking like a top 10 team, honestly, in terms of expected goals. I know last, whatever games they haven't been hot. It's like 2-5, whatever. But I think this team's actually playing really well, and they are an under team. So I'm kind of looking at that under. If we can get Hart and Talbot, I know Hart had an illness yesterday. I expected him to start, and I was actually going to put another unit on Flyers, and then once he was ruled as not starting, he was sick. I kind of just held back. I was like, all right, 1 unit will do. And they kind of, I wouldn't say they dominated the Ducks on the scoreboard, they did, but it was a fairly close game. And Erickson, whatever his name is, I think he's terrible. He played really good yesterday, though. So
he was great last year. And I was like, oh my God, like, give this guy more starts, like really give him a look. And then this year he's been terrible until obviously when I fade this Flyers team, and I don't know, expected goals, they do look good, but I don't know, I just don't think this Flyers team, their best days are ahead of them. They're a rebuilding team, but I don't know.
I agree there, but I actually really like Tortorella with how he's handling this team. This team is a sleeping team. I think they're again very underrated on the market. So yeah, I've been backing them a lot this year, and I will probably continue backing them this year until their price gets adjusted correctly. But like I said, got to wait on these starting goalies. Who knows? They might throw Peterson in there for Philadelphia with them, being on the back-to-back and Hart probably still out. So against his former team again. He looked terrible last time against them. He played LA Kings the last time, which was in Philly. So yeah, something I need to wait on there. Kind of looking at that under. If we get Hart, maybe I'll take a stab on Flyers, but still kind of questionable because he's probably not healthy if he gets to start. So not 100%. Can't really trust that. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe a game you want to wait till we find, and it's a late game of the night,
Yeah.
so you can definitely wait in
Mhm.
this one. Give NHL Daily Bets a follow. His Twitter link is in the description below. Thank you so much for coming on. Yes, this will be the final show until next Thursday. I might do one next Wednesday if I'm fully healed, getting 2 wisdom teeth out. So I will be out of commission for a few days. So this will be the last show for a few days. And yeah. Avs update, Lehkonen out, Cogliano day to day. Wow, Lehkonen's a big injury. And I heard some Avalanche fans saying that if Lehkonen is out long term, they want to sign Patrick Kane. I already dislike Colorado so much, and I've always hated the Blackhawks, and Kane was a huge part of that. So if Kane is going to Colorado, then I'm going to my hatred for them is going to renew a little bit. Now I'm tempted on the Blues. Stars, Canes, Canucks, Sens plus 1071. Best of luck. Best of luck, guys, on your bets today. And we'll see you on the next show on Thursday. Best of luck, guys.